There's some other exciting projects in the pipeline, and none other than the new Pakenham Racecourse. We've been working hard to get approval for redevelopment of the new racecourse, the existing racecourse, and that won't start until 2013. And the new racecourse at Tynong, which has to be built by the 1st of August 2013. Now, the new racecourse will probably be close to one of the best racecourses in Victoria, if not Australia. The overall development, both at Tynong and at Pakenham, when they redevelop the racecourse, is a project value of about $688 million. Probably the biggest project we'll see in Cardinia. What it brings is 1,800 jobs as well when it's fully established. So this is not an urban growth centric thing. This is going to ensure that people, whether you live in the urban growth corridor or the rural sector of Cardinia, will benefit from particularly jobs and also contracts during this construction period, which in essence will hopefully start early next year, and that'll be the new course, as I said, and also the redevelopment of the existing racecourse. But what the redevelopment of the existing racecourse does is provide a better connection back into the town centre. There'll be about 800 to 1,000 houses there, so another pool of dollars spent to make Pakenham CDB even stronger. So that's an exciting project. We're pretty close to getting approval. I was hoping there'd be something I was able to announce today, but I'm not. But we're working very closely to achieve that. The other one, which is, I think in the next 6 months there'll be some form of announcement, is the new Homemaker Centre on the corner of the Pakenham Bypass and the Courier Up. This is a Homemaker Centre which is essentially bulky goods. One of the things that I think that underpins a good CBD area and shopping for people generally within the Shire is the requirement for a Homemaker Centre. Now what that comprises of, only time will tell, but you've all been to a Homemaker Centre or a bulky goods store, and that's what I think hopefully in the next 6 months, given that we're now moving out of the global financial crisis, we'll see hopefully some announcement about the creation of that Homemaker Centre down there. And the jobs that creates as well, but also anchors Cardinia in a way that it'll attract people to shop at Pakenham and also at the Homemaker Centre. Well, the other most probably exciting projects that we've been working on is what we call the Bunyip Food Belt. This is a joint program project that's been developed between Council, Mornington Peninsula Shire Council and the City of Casey and South East Water. One of the things that Australia and the whole world will suffer from into the future is really a lack of fresh food. And we have a unique opportunity in Cardinia, as well as Mornington and as well as Casey, to secure at least the food for Melbourne into the future, the food supply, but also to create export markets and also suppliers to the rest of Australia. We have some of the best agricultural land in Victoria, and we're fortunate enough from about 2013 to be able to access water coming out of the South Eastern Treatment Plant. There's 142 gigalitres of Class C water that's going to be upgraded to Class A water, Recycled Water Plus, and we're able to tap into that and use that for food production. The 142 gigalitres that currently flows there will be able to siphon some of that off. Now, we're working with the state government very closely on that. We're well advanced in terms of our planning. The early numbers, and we've got to do a bit more work around that, is that to the local economy it's worth about $288 million. There may be more into the future, but that's what we estimate on what we know today. What it also does is create about 2,000 jobs over the next 20 years. So now once again creating that employment from a different sector for our rural sector. Also, as part of the Bunyip Food Belt and there will be a distribution centre created in Dandenong. Now, it's not dependent on the food belt. It will be created irrespective of the food belt because of the demand for another distribution centre for wholesale fruit and vegetable in Melbourne. Talking to the people just recently, that project will more than likely get off the ground early next year. Now, attached to that, we want to put in educational facilities, because what is happening in the rural sector is a lot of people want to be still part of the rural farming sector, but don't necessarily want to farm. So we're going to want to create opportunities where we can use that expertise of young people and keep them in the farming or food sector through other ways. And what we want to develop is an education centre as part of the distribution centre in Dandenong. So it'll be a whole linked up creation of the food belt, the distribution, and then the education facility as well. So that's a project that we think will, so we've got a little bit more way to go, but once I said $288 million to the local economy and 2,000 jobs, a really great project if we can get it up. One of the other projects we're working on is motorsports facility. Now, probably you think about that, and it's not all that sexy, but this is a $10+ million project to get this up off the ground. We're working with local investors to try and achieve that. But what it means at this stage, what our rough estimates are, is it's worth at least $9 million to our local economy. A staggering amount of money that we can bring in on an annual basis, at least $9 million to the local economy. What it also provides is at least 44 jobs on the ground at the sports facility. But what it also does is attract a lot of new industry into Cardinia to complement what's happening at the motorsports facility. Now, we're well advanced that. We're doing a planning scheme amendment now. Once that's approved, we'll be approaching the state government, to approve that planning scheme amendment. So we're not far away from some reality about the new motorsports facility. But in a total context, it has another big impact. But it also has an impact about the inflows of visitors into Cardinia. As I said before, we just don't want residents. One of our target audiences is to make the whole Cardinia more economical, is the attraction of people into Cardinia. And the motorsports facility will do that. It's not just about local residents, it's about a whole lot of people coming out of Melbourne, southeast Melbourne, and into Cardinia, and then spending money within Cardinia. The other projects we're working on, I know they're in the pipeline. Unfortunately, I get up here every year and I said I can't tell you, because a lot of this is confidential. But there's a number of tourism opportunities in the pipeline. So it's another arm of attracting people to come to Cardinia in terms of various tourism projects, development, and also events. So we're trying to create a holistic arrangement where we get saturated in a way that there's constant dollars coming into Cardinia. And if you look at probably Warrnambool's probably the best example. Like I used to work down that way, and I know Warrnambool really well. But the amount of events and tournaments and things they have down at Warrnambool, motels are constantly booked out, so forth. That feeds into the restaurants and so forth and so forth. So if you've got that constant events and tourism opportunity and developments that create all that, it just continually builds a very strong economy, both within the urban growth corridor and outside of the growth corridor. But there are some exciting opportunities in the pipeline. Now, whether they come to fruition, only time will tell. But I think most of them, what we're trying to achieve, will come off.